People want ease, they're happier to voice their asks than type. Conversations are replacing keywords because brands want to sound more human to win.
They think after paying the web developer to put up their site, everything will come automatically. That's a big weakness because you have to keep pushing it, keep the site updated.
There's no getting away from it, especially in the next 10 years. We have a tech-savvy generation that's coming up. And also not just tech-savvy, but people who like convenience a lot. They prefer convenience. People don't want to type anymore. They want to speak.
So Dennis Sebufu is an SEO executive. He will be helping us today understand why SEO experts must start paying serious attention to voice search.
Speaking out is easier than typing. Most people don't have the time to type. You give more information when you speak than when you write.
Instead of walking across the room and turning on the lights, you can easily say,
Yes.
please turn on the light or please play my favorite music.
The truth is we have to accept that outside of the corporates, there's a huge digital illiteracy in Uganda. So that has to be addressed as well. Slow optimization by brands will take long to adapt. There's a future, but brands will have to address those barriers.
Today, if you don't use AI, you're left behind. It's making people jobless, but then making other tasks easier. You don't have to rank for keywords alone. Appearing among the top pages on Google is not the thing now. You also have to appear in citations, in ChatGPT and other stuff. Local brands don't invest in SEO, just web design, and that's all. My view is Google My Business is better than social media. Because social media, most people don't take it too serious.
Voice search is already here. It is present, although whispering loudly. A lot of us now are venturing into podcasts, but people need to optimize their voice search.
For brands, this is an opportunity, especially in their customer support. Brands that begin preparing now will have the advantage compared to brands who stay traditional.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome yet again to our monthly webinar series. We are always excited to host these webinars as Agile Media Africa. My name is Agi Patricia Turomwe, and I'm the CEO at Agile Media. I'm delighted to always be moderating these conversations. Today's topic is literally quite relevant: voice optimization. Now, a lot of people will tell you they are using ChatGPT as agents, as their PA or assistants, and they just dictate or voice their prompts into the tools. It's quite exciting that we now have this conversation because people are talking to their devices, people are talking to Siri, people are talking to Google. And of course, with this kind of technology, we are going to see a lot more transformation, but also more insights, especially across Africa. People are increasingly speaking to their phones. People are increasingly speaking to their televisions, to their home assistants instead of typing, because typing can be slower than speaking and it's more natural, it's more inclusive, especially for those who can hear as opposed to read. Millions of people who say struggle with spelling mistakes or writing or semi-literate, but they can simply speak a bit of English, they can easily voice their search, and that is going to be an equalizer. So what does that mean for brands? What does that mean for marketers? What does that mean for communicators? Because Dennis here is an expert in SEO. We're going to hear what the rules of SEO will be for the next decade. What is going to shift with this? What does it mean for content? What will content look like on the screens? Because now people are speaking into their devices. It's going to be a different ball game, especially for brands competing for visibility, so that they're easily found in these conversations on keyboards. So tonight we're going to have this conversation where we're going to break it down exactly how to prepare for that future. Our agenda is simple. We should expect to understand why voice search adoption is rising, particularly in emerging markets in Uganda. How we'll explore voice search reshaping SEO and content strategy. And then finally, we'll learn practical ways to optimize brand content for conversational queries and voice-first search environments. In our previous webinar, Miss Betty from Agile Media gave an example of how MTN made a voice tune for employees to recognize their brand. So this is also in line with the same reflection. So we are going to now open up the conversation. I'll start with you, Mr. Dennis Sebufu. I'm very pleased to introduce you because I was telling you earlier on, we don't have a lot of SEO experts in the country. So Dennis Sebufu is an SEO expert, an executive. He will be helping us today understand why SEO experts must start paying serious attention to voice search. He will also share how local service providers, tour operators, hotels, schools, and restaurants can be able to optimize their website FAQs to reflect natural speed patterns like where is the nearest hotel? How do I get to my school? How do I do this? What will this cost? Dennis, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm glad to be here. I'm talking about how voice search can impact SEO. You see, I've been doing SEO for many years now, like from 2015 there. I've been featured on many international sites like HuffPost, Hotcast.com. I've worked mostly with international clients, but then it's the same principles apply locally. One thing I noticed about our local business people, after making the site, they don't take the time to work on SEO. They think after paying the web developer to put up their site, everything will come automatically. That's a big weakness because you have to keep pushing it, keep the site updated. Someone has to find something interesting to beat the competition. You have to push with SEO. You have to put content on the site. People can market on TikTok, Facebook, but even the website, you invest a lot in the site. You have to know what words to use, the keywords. With voice search, you have to know how your site can appear when people speak to their devices on Android or iPhone. And then also today, there are answer engines like ChatGPT and Perplexity. Those ones, you have to make sure that you don't only rank in Google, you have also to rank generative search engines. Voice search can also help to boost your appearance in the LLMs. To see that voice search matters in Uganda, here is how. Today, most people can access internet on their devices. Over 70% of the people now own devices. They don't have to go on a computer, a laptop to access internet. Regardless of whatever they're going to do, they can do that on the devices. Another thing, the devices have voice assistants, Siri, Alexa. Someone can speak to search for whatever they are looking for. They don't have to type. Speaking out is easier than typing. Most people don't have the time to type. You give more information when you speak than when you write. And then speaking brings up ideas differently from when you type. Let's say you are looking for the best Safari Lodge in Murchison Falls. With typing, you use a specific keyword like best Safari Lodge, Murchison Falls. But if you speak, you have to say something like what's the best Safari Lodge to stay in Murchison Falls. You can add something like nice in December. So you give out more information, which makes the search results become more specific to whatever you're looking for.
Interesting. Customers today are looking for ease of work. Instead of walking across the room and turning on the lights, you can easily say,
Yes.
please turn on the light or please play my favorite music. So I like that you talk about the ease of use.
Let's see how you can optimize for voice search. First thing to know is voice search targets natural language. Because when you are developing content for your site, you have to figure out how people are likely to speak, whatever they are looking for. If someone is out late in the night and looking for a quick meal, they can say, what's the best restaurant near their area? It becomes more easier than typing. Another way you can optimize for voice search is to take advantage of Google My Business Profile. People have to claim their Google My Business Profile because there you have to put their services or telephone number. When someone is searching, in that particular area, it's your business which shows up. You get advantage over others which are in different areas. That's another way you can optimize for voice search. You have to claim your Google My Business profile. Another thing is when you're developing content on the website, you don't just target keywords. After using the natural language, after figuring out what phrases people are likely to use, you have to use structured data. Say you are using WordPress, you have to put schema markups like FAQs, product description, product review. If you are using math, that's a plugin for SEO. You can use a speakable schema. So that one can pick up phrases which people are likely to speak up. So the search engines focus on that phrase. And then here are some strategies how local business people can target their businesses for voice search. For tour operators, you have to figure out what's the potential clients likely to look for when searching for my business. For example, a gorilla trek. People are likely to say, how much does a gorilla trekking cost in Uganda in a particular period? Depending on the number of days they're looking for, what's the best safari for a first-time traveler to Uganda? When you are developing content on the site, you have to include those phrases in the FAQ section. It's a question and answer. You have to figure out phrases people are likely to use and give a direct answer. Search engines don't have much time to look through bullets of information. Your information should be precise and concise and should answer the question directly without wasting too much time. Because the search crawlers don't have a lot of budget to spend on your website, you have to minimize the crawl budget. They don't have to spend too much to look for an answer when trying to answer someone's query. If you are writing blogs, each one should have a small FAQ section. Doesn't matter whether it's at the bottom, you can even include it at the top. The headings should be in question format with the following answer, precise and concise. So when someone reads the question, then they pick the answer right away. When someone speaks a query in a search engine, the crawlers can pick out the question and relate the question and the answer on your site. And then we talked about using natural language. We talked about using long-tail keywords, base Safari Uganda, but you have to consider the long-tail keywords and include them in the questions. Those in the FAQs and then the headings, the H1s, the H2s, the H3s, and the meta title. You have to include your keyword also. The long tail keyword should feature in the meta title and the meta description, because the meta description is the featured snippets. When someone searches your site in Google, they show a summary. That's the featured snippets. It includes the meta description. The meta description should be not more than 160 characters with the main keyword and more information, but not too much. Should be concise to give a brief description of what your page is all about. It makes it easier for the search crawlers to pick out the information on your site. When someone asks Siri or Alexa, or it becomes easier to pick out your site as the one with the most relevant information. To optimize sites for voice search, when developing content, like in the blogs and web copy, you have to include relevant landmarks. Let's say Entebbe Airport, Murchison Falls. When someone's looking for a hotel near Entebbe Airport, they can ask the AI assistant, what's the best hotel near Entebbe Airport? If you have that copy, it becomes easier for your site to appear. We talked about optimizing, claiming the Google My Business profile, include location like Kampala, Naguru, Mbalala. So when someone in that particular area is looking for something, your page shows up better than the others. If you don't include your location, the search queries might bring lots of results which might not be relevant, or they might be in different places. Now, for schools and education providers, they can optimize for voice search just using the strategy of adding location and adding information which potential parents are likely to ask. Say, what's the best school in Nalia? What's the best international school in Bugolobi? And also business. Like now, say for a restaurant, you can add your opening hours, menu, and telephone number, location, and those ones should be consistent on all platforms. To wrap up, optimizing for voice search requires using conversation FAQ sections. You add questions people are likely to ask. Optimize for local content by adding landmarks, include your location. If you have different branches, have separate Google My Business profiles, but include the local telephone number. If you have one branch, it will be even better. You remain consistent, same number, same address, and adding structured data. If you're adding images, you have to include alt tags. Those come in handy for people with visual impairment. That works very well when people are using voice search. The search crawlers can go and read the description of the image and give a response. When your image shows up, it comes with a link to your site. You see?
If you're using ChatGPT, you'll notice that they will translate to Swahili, or other tools will translate to Swahili, but they haven't yet started translating to local dialects. So I wonder, because for podcasting, which is predominantly voice or audio, most AI tools haven't yet picked up on voice. Text is much easier for them to especially collect data, do research, aggregate. What do you think the future is going to look like in this realm?
Google is working on a Uganda version. I was part of that project. They captured voices, they're processing their LLM to read Luganda. When someone speaks Luganda, they can easily bring out results. It's the future which is coming. Even Meta is working on Luganda. In Uganda, they are focusing on Luganda and Kiswahili now. But I think in the future, the LLMs will be able to speak most of the local languages. They are picking out the most common ones in each country.
Thank you. That was brilliant. A nice entry for us to be able to understand how voice search is going to help us understand how our customers operate, especially because for us in an agency, we are always speaking with customers who don't understand why their customers are not buying from their website, why they're not attracting as much engagement as they hoped to. I'm really excited for us to learn more about voice search and how it can actually shape the way we do business. At this time, I invite Miss Betty Kakyo, the Chief Marketing Officer at Agile Media Africa, and she normally shares her insights on what the speakers normally say, and then she wraps up the conversations with key takeaways. Welcome, Betty. Please share your practical insights on today's conversation.
Thank you, Taki. Thanks, Dennis. I've learned so much from you, especially as someone SEO in social media work. So you're talking about all those meta titles and always using questions, because that's how people speak. You mentioned that it would be good for customer service. You're talking about the tourism industry, but I can see this taking over telecoms, banking, because if you think about it, then call centers will not need a lot of people if they incorporate SEO in their voice search, where people can speak and it answers back if they use the right keywords. So I think the call center people wouldn't have to answer the same questions all the time. You talked about optimizing for voice search, using natural language. That's good. It would be good if we could also incorporate the use of our Ugandan languages and understand the Ugandan accent. When you're driving on the Navigate, sometimes it uses a different accent from yours. The SEO experts need to understand keywords people speak. Also, human understanding. There are keywords that people would use maybe in Nairobi that for us we use here in Kampala because of the slang and different ways. So localizing it. We talked about FAQs, which have to be included because that's what people will normally look for. Those are the insights I really enjoyed from your presentation. I reflect on the future of voice search in brand communications. There's no getting away from it, especially in the next 10 years. We have a tech-savvy generation that's coming up. And also not just tech-savvy, but people who like convenience a lot. They prefer convenience. People don't want to type anymore. They want to speak. And also you can see with ChatGPT also has the speaking option where people just speak and it answers back. If brands get into it early, it will be really good. We had a webinar where we're talking about people with disabilities, including them in brands. This would be good for companies who want to be inclusive to people with disabilities. Maybe the blind who can't read, but they want to speak. This would be a good strategy for inclusion. In terms of communications and marketing, we'll have to understand that content will have to change from what we use now. There has to be thinking about our voice, SEO, local relevance, and where people are going. It's also good for engagement. This is cost effective. If a small business has a well-optimized website, it can increase their sales and engagement. If they invest in voice search, especially for location details, people are always searching where the restaurant is. It could give them that competitive edge and just help them in being discovered. The advertising industry, this would be good, including audio adverts for smart devices on smartphones. We have to think about the things that may stop it from happening. Like I said, accent recognition challenges with the navigation, the local language support. Also, digital literacy. The truth is, we have to accept that outside of the corporates, there's a huge digital illiteracy in Uganda. So that has to be addressed as well. Slow optimization by brands will take long to adapt. There's a future, but brands will have to address those barriers. For SMEs, it's a low-cost way of boosting visibility. For corporates like banks, telecoms, this will change their whole customer service departments to lower costs on call centers. For brands who plan and look forward to the future, this will be an advantage for them.
Thank you for those insights. You normally give nice practical examples, and that is what normally brands are looking forward to, what entrepreneurs want to know. So Dennis, apart from the website, what kind of tools should teams be able to use so that they can analyze conversations or queries that come from the FAQs from their websites, especially now, to be able to optimize their voice search?
With the invention of AI, there are various AI tools which can do all kinds of work. There are social hearing tools which can pick out what people speak about your site. This can work for reputational management. The AI tools can help you pick out what phrases people are likely to use when searching your site. Today, if you don't use AI, you're left behind. It's making people jobless, but then making other tasks easier. You can use one AI tool to do all those stuff. There are tools which can even give an overview of the mentions, how your brand is mentioned. It can tell you how people come to your site, where they come from, what time they spend. All those insights can help you develop a more effective marketing strategy.
Yeah.
For my agency, we use tools. We use a tool like Leaky, web traffic sources, either through adverts, AI tools, or direct search. It shows the origin, the bounce rate. Google Search Console can also help you to see which phrases people use to find your site, which page they come to. Since people now use phones, devices, web owners have to boost page speed. They have to optimize their sites for mobile. They can use tools like Page Speed Insights to see how fast their sites can load on the phone. Some templates, like for WordPress, already come with both computer and mobile versions. Those who don't have that, they are losing out because the way you see a site on the screen is not the same on the device. Some features get lost if the screen becomes small. So web owners have to put that in mind.
That's quite insightful. You've shared quite a lot. What other exciting projects around SEO? It doesn't have to be relative to research optimization that you're working on that's quite exciting.
I'm in the marketing business. Right now, people are focusing on optimizing for AI. You don't have to rank for keywords alone. Appearing among the top pages on Google is not the thing now. You also have to appear in citations, in ChatGPT and other stuff.
There was a trend on LinkedIn to ask ChatGPT what it thinks about you if you type in your name. And then it will tell you, yeah, your LinkedIn seems more professional, or it doesn't seem professional at all. You need to do this and that. It's a task for us to check results. If you searched your name on AI software, that is what will come out when somebody else is doing research. Direct that conversation.
But you see the thing now, like for content management, people prefer not to use AI to put content on their site. They prefer not to use AI because AI doesn't have feelings. They prefer human written content because it's only a person who can figure out what someone is likely to ask. You see, not the AI. AI is here, but some roles remain for humans. AI can't take over everything. It can help, but not take over everything, especially like in marketing. When writing copy, it's better. AI can assist in brainstorming and maybe idea generation, but not the actual writing. The way you write, your feelings can mirror what others are likely to have, which AI can't do.
I like the point you make that a copy written by a human being is likely to invoke emotions of another human being. AI can't do. Although some of these tools have actually brought out a lot more that we could imagine. And from one of our old webinars, our very first webinar, this gentleman, he passed away, and he was telling us how he's written a few posts on LinkedIn that have even gotten more traction than he would ever have written. So some of them probably are more human than humans.
Let me tell you, and I used to write ebooks using AI, but some clients didn't like it. A book which would take you months, you can finish it in a few days with AI and does everything. But then there is a way someone can tell that this is not human. And it brings out negative feelings about that piece of work. So basically, there are people who don't mind AI, but then there are those who are still old school. They prefer human work. They don't like AI work. Although you can't ignore, because most of the tasks now are easier with AI, be it design, marketing, analytics, AI is the thing. You have to keep it to a certain level, not rely on it for everything.
Absolutely. I like your insights. And I feel like not so long ago, people were laughing at people who are talking into their phones. People are laughing at the idea that money could come from the phone, mobile money. And now today, a lot of global internet users are being able to perform. So I think there's such a shift, which is powered by technology, but now it's also a behavior for people. We are really moving. This is where the world is moving. People want ease. They're happier to voice their asks than type. Conversations are replacing keywords because people want more human. Brands want to sound more human to win. Thank you so much for these conversations. I will now give you the final round to tell us your parting shots. What do you think is going to happen then in the next 5 years? What should we be looking out for as brands, as advisors, as captains of industries in terms of voice search optimization?
My final take is, most especially the local brands here, I still have that with them. They don't invest in SEO, just web design, and that's all. If you are to stand out in the market, there are things which should not be ignored, such as SEO or optimizing for voice search. They have to prepare their sites. They have to keep updating with relevant content. The content should be human written. It should evoke feelings, should be more of question and answer. They should take advantage of the Google My Business profile, because it's free marketing from Google. You set up without any cost. You keep updating. You can post pictures, put your service hours, services. You can put your target locations for free without even investing much in marketing. But people here ignore that. Business people have to put emphasis on marketing their brands online, apart from the site, and then how their brands are presented online also matters. They have to claim their local presence by adding their locations and include their social media.
So what I heard you say is that if somebody just had their Google My Business account as opposed to social media, they will still be found.
In my experience, I think Google My Business works even if you don't have even a website, because someone in your local area, when they need something, Google can tell their location. So if you are just there and you optimize for the local area, say you put your location, Google will first look at you instead of looking at others. You're likely to appear at the top, and then the client is likely to check you out. They can even call you direct through that. You can put your number there. They can see your website address. My view is Google My Business is better than social media. Because social media, most people don't take it too serious. There's a lot of joking and stuff with people who use their phones mostly today when they're looking for something. Google My Business is what comes first. There's a map. They can see directions to your location. They can even call you. Your service hours are there. They can even show other people. If you take time to optimize your page, you are likely to be on the top. You're more likely to outrank them.
Those were brilliant insights. So much as we can tell, voice search is already here. It is present, although whispering loudly. A lot of us now are venturing into podcasts, but now, as you can see, people need to optimize their voice search. Miss Betty, what are your takeaways?
Traditional searching is still here, but we should be optimistic because voice search is in its early stages. I think for businesses, this is something that they should invest in with SEO experts, taking the time just to create conversational content using natural language. For brands, this is an opportunity, especially in their customer support. Brands that begin preparing now will have the advantage compared to brands who stay traditional. It won't replace traditional search now, but because we still have so many barriers in terms of digital literacy, it's coming and it will be transformational.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Betty. The brands that will be the early adopters, if they start preparing now, they'll lead in the coming years and also beyond. It's an opportunity we can all leverage, especially if we follow what Dennis has actually shared, because all those insights are relevant for small businesses, upcoming businesses, large businesses. So all of us should take heed of this advice. Thank you so much, Dennis, for coming to the call. It's unfortunate we missed Leonard Mukoli and Solomon Kamukama, but I'm sure their insights also would have been invaluable. Thank you so much for making time. I hope everybody can actually incorporate this advice for voice search optimization into their business for them to be able to grow. See you on the next webinar.
Thank you, Dennis.